Okay, that took a bit longer than usual to start. I think the game was capturing the hotkeys that starts the recording. I had to switch to a different window. Anyway, welcome everyone. This is Arafel playing Touhou's 7 Perfect Cherry Blossom. As before, the rules I'm going on are I'm playing with Homing Reimu as my character on normal stage difficulty, as opposed to easy, hard, or lunatic. And going as far as I can, trying not to use continues, but the option is there if needed. And we have our Reimu, the primary protagonist, the Shrine Maiden of the Hakurei Shrine. Marisa as the second option, a magician. And we have as a third option in this game, Sakuya, the Stage 5 boss, and Stage 5 mid-boss and Stage 6 mid-boss from Embodiment of Scarlet Devil, the previous game. And she throws knives everywhere. As before, you have in the bottom corner the summary of stats for everyone. Instead of being stars this time, it has low, mid, high. And also number of bombs. Reimu gets 3 bombs, Marisa gets 2, Sakuya gets 4. Move speed for both Reimu and Sakuya is medium, Marisa is high. Low speed, medium for Marisa, slow for Sakuya, medium for Reimu. And then there's this cherry thing. Cherry is a new gimmick added in this game, which I'll explain more when we actually get started, but I'm just... I think that's the consumption rate or loss rate or something. Anyway, Reimu's is small, Marisa's is large, Sakuya's is medium. But let's just get started. As before, each character has 2 shot types. Reimu has the homing amulets as her Reimu A, and the needles for her B, just like in the previous game. Marisa, magic missiles versus stream laser. Sakuya gets knives and different knives, basically. So yeah, Reimu homing amulet. And this is the same basic engine as Embodiment of Scarlet Devil, so you have the same buttons, the same basic gameplay, but there are some differences. For one, even at 0 power, your options are there, so you get some of your secondary fire, so Reimu is getting homing amulets right away. You'll also notice that in addition to the red point items and the red power items and the blue point items, we're also getting pink cherry things. That's this game's gimmick. There is cherry power that's increasing the thing in the bottom left. Once you get enough of that, you get a supernatural border, the game calls it, which gives you temporary invulnerability, makes all the items on the screen hum in towards you. If you get hit or try to use a bomb while that is active, it will shatter and all the shots on the board will turn into more cherry. All the enemy shots, rather. However, if you keep it going until it naturally runs out, you get a point bonus based on the number in the bottom left, I believe. And that was Cherno, the Stage 2 boss from Embodiment of Scarlet Devil, the Ice Fury with a brash attitude who is not as strong as she thinks he is. Here she's basically just cannon fodder for a Stage 1 mid-boss. Another change this game makes is previously when you went into focus mode where you move more slowly and have a more... Well, anyway, we have dialogue here. Reimu's saying it's cold. Should knock it off. Yeah, the story for this game basically, winter is lasting longer than it should, spring's not coming, they're going to investigate. Anyway, here's our Stage 1 boss. Letty White Rock. Forgotten of Winter? Anyway. They're talking. It's not terribly important. And they fight. Wait, yes, as I was starting to mention, in Embodiment of Scarlet Devil, when you focus, which is when you move slower and more precisely, the only difference it makes to your shots is that your options moves up in front of you a little closer together, so your fire is slightly more concentrated. In this game, however, you get a completely different shot pattern. So instead of having this smaller homing amulets going everywhere. You have big homing amulets, but not as many of them. So that's more preferable for focusing on a single enemy. It's not as good when you have things all over the screen. I'm actually not sure which has greater firepower overall, if you manage to have them all hit the same enemy. I think they're about even. Another difference this game makes, which is nothing major, but it is helpful, is notice that when I'm focused, there's this little dot that appears on top of Reimu. That indicates where your actual hitbox is. And for Reimu, with her slightly smaller than usual hitbox, it's actually slightly smaller than that dot. Reimu, as usual, is considered more of a beginner character, because she does have the homing attack, she does have lower firepower, but has a better at hitting things. She has a smaller hitbox, she has a longer window to do death bombs. Sakuya in this game, I think, is also another more novice-oriented character, because she has the relatively slow movement, she gets more bombs, her knives, depending on which loadout you use, either hit a large area or can be aimed to hit basically the whole screen. And I'm getting the player penalty because I started with more lives than you normally do. Stage 2, Mayoiga no Kuroneko. The Black Cat of Mayoiga. And here we have fairies just kind of appearing out of soap bubbles. So you don't want to get too close to the higher part of the screen in this stage in particular. And finally, full power mode. Yeah, as long as if there's nothing about to appear, then you're fine, but if you see those bubbles, avoid. Anyway, there's our supernatural border. You get a border bonus for surviving to the end of it without bombing or getting hit. Yeah, if you do either bomb or get hit, the barrier breaks, turns all the enemy shots on screen into more cherry, but you do not lose a life or use up any bombs. I could probably dodge through those, but it's easier to go around them, especially on normal. There's plenty of space. Try to grab a cherry. As usual, the bosses have spell cards. If you take them down in the duration available without getting hit or using a bomb, you get a bonus. If you stupidly steer into a shot, you take a death. But that always goes. Yeah, for some reason, it really gives me trouble when things are approaching from different angles. Probably more than it should. Yeah, if you intentionally break the border like that by hanging bomb, it does that. It kind of shatters, the stuff turns into cherry, which gets you closer to your next border. I think Reimu is the slowest to get the border going. That's what that last thing on the player information page was about. Okay. There are houses here, and here's Jen. You wander in here, that's the end. The end? Anyway, the houses of lost. Welcome, Jen. Dangers north. Black Cat. Anyway, you wander in here, you'll never get back. Is that so? That is the House of the Losts. Anyway. They say if you bring something back from here, you'll have good luck. Oh, you will. Anyway. We're fighting because we're always fighting. You wander in, you never come back. What happened to that? Jen. Yeah, the green balls you can stream. Which means just they're aimed at you, so if you move slightly to the side, they miss. There's a spell card flying something or other. Can't read that. You have what look like well-behaved shots coming at you, and then she does something and they start curving. All in all, not that bad on normal, at least. Let's see, those are... Yep, also aimed. Belatedly aimed, rather. There's another border. Those claws on her. And here she's just flying everywhere, so homing is useful. Those explode into smaller shots, which are a little faster moving, less predictable. So as I recall, to do this well, you want to try and dodge up between those before they split for best results. Okay, and here's... I think this is our final spell card. This is just spammy. If you stay towards the middle, you usually have an easier time of dodging it because the shots are coming more or less straight down at you. Yep, there we go. Not so bad. Also, as I recall, I wasn't paying attention, but I believe it tells you during the spell card in the top right how many times you've seen it and how many times you've successfully captured it. Nice blurring effect there. And here's Alice Murgatroyd, the Doll Master. Using something similar to Pachuli's Mercury Poison, where you have things curling in opposite directions. Anyway, early mid-boss, very minor though, as these shots are aimed directly at you, so you can misdirect them pretty easily. And hordes of fairies. The border, Alice will be back now. Do that to get some cherry back. I'd rather have that going during a spell card. It's kind of a safety measure. Go, free one up. Let's try not to squander that. I'm getting too close to the top of the screen there, a Soul Bomb. Yeah, as I recall, your cherry also gradually boosts the value of point items at maximum. Anyway, can't see well. Here's Alice again. It's cold because you don't have enough springness, basically. That may be an idiom, but it's what the pink stuff is. Anyway, Rainbow Doll User. Alice Murgatroyd, she has that tome there. There was an Alice Murgatroyd in the PC 98 games who is probably not supposed to be the same character, but she did have a grimoire. Anyway. Although she is saying, "You don't remember me?" Although that could just be from when she appeared earlier in the stage. What is this springness? There's something about your head and it being spring, and... Why is the cold going on so long? Someone is gathering the springness. And you're saying it has nothing to do with you? Of course not. Then, hey. Anyway, we're fighting again because of course we are. Miko is only 2 colors, red and white. Whereas Alice is 7 colors because rainbow. Didn't someone in Embodiment of Scarlet Devil also call Reimu a red-white? Might have been Sakuya. Or was it Patchouli? I forget. You have a couple different patterns mixed into one here that makes it a little tricky to navigate through. But not too bad. Yeah, breaking your barrier also counts as not capturing the spell card, so... Yeah, the dolls she has spawn shots, which then split a few different ways, reversing course each time. Pretty much all you have to do is focus on yourself and not worry about what's going on up there. Although that does remind me, another little improvement to the engine. You see at the bottom there's this indicator of where horizontally your opponent is. So if you have a character that needs to aim more, like Marisa, you can see where you need to go without looking up at them. With Reimu, it's not as big a deal because she has the homing shots, so you're hitting regardless, and if you want to get lined up so that your non-homing shots also hit, you can kind of see where the homing shots are going and line up with them. But for Marisa especially, it does help to be able to tell where the opponent is without having to look away. Kind of run up through here. He swerved weirdly. Got another border. Another bonus. And this is another spammy spell. With rainbow colors. Or at least some of the rainbow. And I can see from the bottom she's kind of flying around back and forth all over the place. Again, while you're actually playing the game, you really can't watch too much the whole screen, or you can't really see what's happening with yourself, and what's happening with yourself is the most important part, because you don't want to get hit. But as an observer, you can watch the whole screen, see the pretty patterns. Concentrate on this. A little messy. I made it barely. That small hitbox does come in handy. Is Springness these flower petals? You weren't collecting them because you knew? Yeah. Yeah, the flower petals are basically our spring essence, and there's someone who's collecting it, which is why spring is not coming. But you can also gather it up for yourself to get the border bonus. And this, I'm not sure it is the longest stage, but it feels the longest. Yeah, wasn't sure I could dodge to that, so bomb just to be safe. Doing well on lives. There's a long pause here while the stage intro. Cherry flower border above the clouds. And here's a bunch of fairies spamming at you. And whatever those things are. Yes, the shots are roughly aims, but not directly at you, so you need to keep moving to keep safe, but you can't just go a little bit. There's a little more movement involved. These will aim directly at you, but if their shots really get going, you can see there's those other patterns coming off the sides that can be very messy. Also, once you take out one of these fairies, all the shots from that particular parry despawn. I think this might be the spot where if you don't shoot the enemies, they don't shoot at you. Yeah. Although some of them do eventually. But this is safer to not shoot. Or you could just do that. Thing is, if you don't shoot, they don't drop anything. Anyway. So one up from points, I think? And here's Lily-White, the mid-boss of the stage. With one of those spammy shots raining down everywhere attacks. Go. You can hear the music getting more intense. This game has some of my favorite music in the series. Didn't go as diagonal as I meant to there. And right, you can't auto-collect unless you're at full power. The later games, a lot of them you can. Go, here's some cherry border going. More of these fairies. As you can see, their shot patterns get a little more complicated if you let them survive long enough. And here you have them on both sides of the screen, so it's hard to take them all out at once. And these are just spamming, so I'll bomb. You can sort of stream them, but I wasn't set up very well for that. And that I definitely messed up, so bomb. And this is a sort of another mid-boss, even though it's not officially a boss. Doesn't have a name. But you don't get much more durable than this for something that isn't a boss. And I think this will automatically break because we're at the boss now. Oh no, there's a delay. Border bonus. Sorenishtima. Anyhow. Yeah. Why is there's cherry blossoms up above the clouds? Lots of dots. I can stay here as long as I want. No one's answering. But there is someone. It's the Poltergeist Sisters, the Prism Rivers. This is Lunasa. The instrument floating around. You have the wispy aura on it and the big art. Anyway. There's some more dialogue here. It's nothing too important, but there's something important beyond this gate. It seems like our destination. There's the other two. There's Melon Prism River. And Dedeka Prism River. Touch Teki are astronomy. I don't think that's it. Who are you? Where is this? Anyway. They're basically poltergeists. They're here because you called them. Something out flower viewing. And a performance. She wants to view flowers. Anyway. We got the music going. Yeah, here, a lot of the spell cards and in-betweens parts will be one of them at a time. Which one depends... Well, at the beginning it depends on which player you're using. Further into the battle, I think it depends on which one you do the most damage to when they're all on there together. Yeah, these shots you can aim the... You can kind of direct the yellow ones depending on where you are on screen. Of the big ones, the yellow, blue, and red, whatever, that spawn the trails. Okay, so that's that part. Still not getting proper spell card. We have one of these with the curving shots that I don't like. It's not that bad. Oh, it is only on normal. Yeah, here's all three of them at once. As far as clearing the spell card, it doesn't matter which one you hit, but it does affect which one you'll be fighting when they split up again. It's the red shots here are stream aimed, so you can stream them. The other shots are not, so you can't. There we go. Looks like we're facing this one again. And these shot patterns are kind of weird. I'm not quite sure how you're supposed to deal with them. Although it looks like just streaming is fine. And I flew right into the blue one. I thought I could slip by it. Didn't work out. The problem with slow movement, it is slow. So although you can move more precisely, if you're trying to run past something, it doesn't work as well. Yeah. It's the shot moving in opposite diagonals. It always throws me off. Let's just bomb. Get in her face. And there. I think that's enough for full power. Yep. So you have all three of them again. The two that are not doing the main shots are doing these, like, sword laser things you need to watch out for. Huh. I'm not even sure what hit me there. Yeah, and you can still damage them directly. Yeah, the sword lasers also deflect the range shots. I forgot about that. Maybe that's what happened. I think this is their last spell card. We have again the laser deflecting the shots, making them go in different directions. And here you basically just look for gaps in the pattern and head there. And there we go. I took more deaths than I should have, but... Anyway, we are through the gate and going into the realm of the dead. Stage 5. Hakugyokuro, I think it was called. Here's another one of those places where you have enemies that just keep shooting until you take them out, so the faster you kill them, the less junk there is on the screen. That was risky, but it worked. Oh, how'd I do that? I think I'm too focused on where I'm going and not enough on what's right in front of me. Almost flew into another shot there. Need to stop that. Ah. I pulled back, but not quickly enough. There's Yomu, half human, half phantom. All sword. Well, not all sword, but she uses multiple swords. I think I backed myself into a corner there, so... I have bombs, it's a waste to not use them. There, that was a death bomb. Notice there is a longer window in this game than in Embodiment of Scarlet Devil. Those are aimed. Here she will slash. Yeah. You're supposed to use the slowdown when she's preparing to move to kind of maneuver through this, but again, I managed to back myself into a corner. And there are no bombs. Free one up, though. These are pretty obviously aimed. These are probably not. There is little gaps in there if you're looking for them. Anyway. Reimu doesn't like the way this place feels. Yomu does not like all the commotion. living human. This is where those who used to live. The next world. Anyway. More conversation. Not trying to read it. Let's just fight. Yomu Konpaku. Yeah, I really messed that up. Those are aims, so as long as you're not moving around too much, you have a fairly clear lane to go through. These are not aimed, so they're kind of a mess. Here we have these coming down. Again, she'll do a thing where it's just slow down and then a slash. And you're supposed to take advantage of that to dodge through the mess. I might have been able to wait for the slowdown, but with as much stuff as around me, safer to bomb. There. Yep, I've managed another death bomb. Yeah, this is much more lenient when it comes to that than Scarlet Devil was. There's blades flying at you. Ah. Overcorrected. Yeah, I'm probably going to need to continue. There goes our border. I forget what this card was. Oh, right, this one. Again, you want to take advantage of the slowdown to find holes in the pattern. Wasn't sure if I was safe or not there, so that's what you bomb. Yeah, I think you do want to keep going back and forth across the screen with her and not flying right into her shots. Here's one place homing comes in handy. Yeah, she slashes open the bottom of the screen, so now there's stuff coming up from there that you need to watch out for. Backed myself into a corner again. Okay. Is this our last card? I think so. Out of lives, but they do still have bombs. So, of course, I don't use them. Oh well. So this will not be a 1 credit clear. At least it's colorful. Anyway. And it's very spring here. What else are you trying to do? Got the flower. She's trying to get this cherry tree to fully blossom. So, yeah, that's the gist of it. The person she's working for has this cherry tree in here that never completely blossoms, and they're collecting spring essence to try to make that happen. Anyway, stage 6. This is the final stage, not counting Extra and Phantasm. Very intense music, as you'd expect from the final stage. There will also be spamming shots everywhere. This is a great place to get a border going. If only so you can do that. Anyway, Yomu is doing the same thing as Sakuya. She's coming back trying to do a last-ditch effort to stop you from getting to her mistress. Yeah. The blue ones are aimed at you, the red ones are aimed around you. One final spell card from her. This has the thing where it looks like it's doing the slowdown, but it doesn't actually slow down. And I'm not sure how I dodged through that. And that one I did not dodge through at all. But I believe we go straight to the boss after this, and yes, here she is. Reimu's getting annoyed. You're the one barging in here, quit complaining, basically. And here's Yuyuko. Princess of the Dead, basically. Yuyuko's Saigyoji. Talking about flowers and springness again, and yeah. Anyway, conversation. Nothing particularly important happening here. They're just talking again about that tree and wanting to get into full bloom, and Reimu's saying how she wanted to blush flowers at her shrine, not here in the realm of the dead. But there's some kind of seal on the tree that Yuyuko is trying to undo. Anyway. I love this music. Don't necessarily love the fight, though. You need to dodge through the shots to not get hit by the lasers. Actually, it's probably easier if you go over to the side like this. And of course they get hit right away. But as I was saying, here the shots are coming basically straight down at you, so it's easier to line up in the gaps. That could have gone better. And here she has a fan, which basically extends her hitbox for people who can't auto-aim. I think it takes less damage than hitting her directly, but it does still take damage. As usual, the big shots are not as big as they look. They're still fairly large, but not that large. I think it's more the coward part on the inside that's the actual shot. I think some of these end up being aimed. There we go. Some of this attack does end up being aimed, so you need to kind of stream it or bomb. There's her cherry again. Yeah, these move in weird, tricky ways. It looks simple enough at first, but then they start swerving. And you can't get too close to her because the big shots haven't moved far apart enough. But you don't want to get too close to the bottom either, because there's no space to retreat. And it feels like the knives are easier to dodge further up. Yeah, the downside to Reimu, as usual, she has lower DPS than, say, Marisa. Marisa probably would have cleared that well before I needed a bomb. Yeah, this has these streaking things that move towards you, so you need to keep dodging around to misdirect them. The main shot pattern isn't that bad, though. Although it does get increasingly dense over time. Huh, I've never cleared this. I'm not sure if that's by character or just overall, so maybe I have cleared up another character. Yeah, these shots do another weird thing. I think they're kind of aimed. Yeah, the blue ones are aimed towards you, the cyan ones are aimed around you. And the green ones are just kind of there. So once you catch on to that, this is very easy to dodge. Repository of something. I shouldn't be trying to read that when I'm busy dodging. Yeah, there's no room to escape that. Hirokawa? That sounds like a name. Yuko with her butterfly attacks. We have a border up, we have another spell card. Complete something or other. More butterflies flying in weird patterns. I don't quite understand how these work. I think it's somehow relative to your position, but it's not aimed directly at you. You have these pink shots everywhere around you. Yeah, I think this will be cleared pretty soon, then she'll move up to the next one. Well, not cleared because it bombed, but done, rather. Or maybe that full health bar is this one spell card. Yeah, took another hit. I forget how many continues you get. Okay. There is one last-ditch thing. There's some text here that's kind of important, but I'm just going by too fast for me to figure it out. Yeah, these red ones, they're the ones that really throw me off. I think they are aimed, but I'm not sure at what. Or maybe you just have to watch the trajectory of them and get out of the way. That might be it. They're just going on straight lines, but they're not quite where you think they should be. And this is a survival card. You can't actually hurt her. You just have to wait it out. And so much spring. Oh yeah, that could have gone better, but that's the end of the game. As with EoSD, I think you get a bad end if you continued. Yeah, this looks like a bad end just from the text and the graphic. Bad ending number 1. And the credits. Okay, you can hold control to accelerate these. Again, it's all Zune with some thanks to the test players and all that. But for this time, this game I do have my old save data, so I can go ahead and go into extra stage anyway, and I feel like doing that, so... There's an extra stage, there's Phantasm stage as well, because I have actually cleared extra once. This is the only game I've done that on, and largely because this game's extra is basically easy mode extra, because of the Phantasm stage. So I believe the story of the extra stage for this was, you beat New Yuko, Spring is back, but it feels like something's missing. Like there's someone else behind everything. Like, Yuko couldn't have opened the border between the world of the dead and living on her own. And so the extra stage is investigating that. Want to at least get the big piece. And here's Chen again. Of course, as an extra stage mid-boss, she's harder than on stage 2. The blue shots are pretty clearly aimed. Add a spell card. Blue Oni, Red Oni. I think this is one of those where you want to be higher up the screen to protect yourself. But not fly right into stuff. Like that. I need to remember I have bombs. I feel like that's one of my biggest struggles in Touhou games in general, is I'm too reluctant to use bombs. And then I take tests instead, so they're wasted. I think I was safe there. The bomb also takes a nice chunk of her health. Yeah, those are aimed around you. Those are messy. I get a 1-up and lose it immediately. And this is just spam. Those are streaming. This is just dodging. I think I was right on top of one of them when it shot. And that was just bad. Okay, so no extra stage boss, but extra is extra because it's harder than the usual stages. And kind of a marathon. And just for the heck of it, let's go into Phantasm. I only cleared extra stage with Sakuya B, so that's the only option I have here. Also gives me a chance to show off her shot pattern. It's kind of neat. You have, as your primary fire, you just fire and shoot ahead, but as you turn to the side, the shots also turn to the side. And when you go into focus mode, the one stream of shots stays at whatever angle it was at, while the other shot keeps going straight forward. You get some time shot shenanigans in her bombs. Phantasm stage is extra stage turned up to 11, so even more enemy fire, more intense music, more difficult patterns. Completely different stage boss. Although she's basically a stronger version of the extra stage boss. Yeah, for some reason I feel more at liberty to use bombs when I'm playing the harder levels. And here, this is the extra stage boss, now appearing as the Phantasm stage mid-boss. Ron Yakumo. A however many-tailed fox. As I recall, she summons Chen for some of her attacks, because... yeah, that's very similar to Chen's one attack, just the way the pattern goes is different. It's kind of coming from the angles instead of going down the side of the screen. Yeah, trying to angle my shots back toward her. And I'm focused too much on that and not enough on surviving. And this again is very similar to Chen's attack. Getting in her way is not a good idea. That is definitely one place where homing shots come in handy. Which Sakuya, at least this Sakuya, does not have. Sakuya A's focus fire aims towards enemies, but it's not exactly homing. And I'm pretty sure she can only hit within a certain angle of the straight ahead. Whereas Reimu's homing shots will go anywhere. I should have seen that coming. Here's the spam attack again. Said Phantasm stage, basically extra stage, but more so. I think this will be the dodging part coming up. Yeah, basically the same pattern. And I died in the same way. So that's a taste of Phantasm anyway. Yeah, practice is just practices. We don't have spell part practices yet. I think that's in the next game where it becomes available. But yeah, for now, this has been Aerophone playing Perfect Cherry Blossom, Touhou 7. And yeah, next week I'll take on the next one. I believe that's Imperishable Night. So if you're interested, come back then. And until then, enjoy your weekend.